Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo. Another surprise!
Out of the blue.
You want that with fries?
Out of the blue. Come with me across the sea. On another view. We're gonna cook for you.
Nothing but blue skies.
Out of the blue.
You want some chili with those fries?
Out of the blue.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Blue. Well, today, Michael, we're in the beautiful Murray River town of Waikerie.
Mickey, I couldn't wait to get here. Waikerie is one of those lovely riverside towns that is seriously underrated. Peaceful, relaxing, and only a couple of hours' drive from Adelaide. On today's show, we meet some innovative fishermen farming Murray Cod. Look at those beautiful, healthy fish. We cook some delicious recipes and try some of the best almonds in Australia. But first, Michael is keen to get me on a boat.
And I thought today I'd take you and our viewers on a little trip up the Murray River.
Oh, Mickey, that's
So would you like to come and join me?
I'd love to join you.
Would you like to join me? Come with us.
Let's go.
Okay, welcome aboard Qatar and Rivergum Cruises.
Now, Sarah, how did it all come about?
About 20 years ago, James actually purchased the hull of the boat, found it here in Waikerie. And sort of thought, I reckon I could do something with that, and ended up bringing it home, put it out the back of the shed and slowly worked on it. It's a fiberglass hull. It came from a cattle ship from Qatar, and then we actually bought the top mould of the boat and joined it together, and it took 14 years to build.
14.
About 8 years into it, he decided to turn it into a charter boat.
A little history about Waikerie, colonised in 1891. Waikerie wasn't the first town to be colonised along the river, but it was one of the first towns to have a commercial irrigation system.
Where do you take the boat?
For our normal cruises, we do a 2-hour cruise, so we go about an hour upstream and then back. So we're based in Waikerie, that's where we start. So either go upstream for an hour and back, or downstream and back again. But we do our longer day cruises to Banrock Station, Overland Corner, upstream, and they take about 5 hours of cruising to get up there. And then downstream to Cordo Vineyard, which is about 4 hours. And we love our sunset cruises. We do them sort of 2 hours before sunset, and we get the sun shining on the cliffs.
And is it a sort of 7-day a week, 365 days of the year?
We're available any day. We've got our own carpentry business, so James is still full-time on that pretty well. But we're available when we get group bookings. As long as we've got sort of at least 24 hours notice and we've got the numbers, we can be here.
So what's the minimum number of people to have on the boat?
We'd like to go out if we've got at least 6 people on board, but we can take a maximum of 11 passengers.
You appear to be doing most of the work here on the boat.
That's
I mean,
right.
James is up there, he's got a microphone in his hand and he's just steering.
That's it.
You make the platter, you serve the drinks, you make sure everyone's comfortable.
That's it. Do all the marketing.
Do all the marketing.
Cleaning.
Well, look, great service, fabulous boat, great family enterprise.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. Thank you.
After the break, those delicious almonds. When in the Riverland, you must take a drive to Renmark to visit Murray Cod, one of Australia's largest almond producers.
Australia is the second largest producing country of almonds, but we're poor cousin to California, who have got 1.6 million acres of almonds.
So when the almonds are ripe, what happens to them?
The almonds grow on the tree. There's normally about, a mature tree pushes out 30,000, 40,000 flowers. And that relates to about probably 12 to 15,000 nuts on a mature tree. And the almond harvest starts in February and normally wraps up around Easter time. So the almonds are coming in through our hulling and shelling facilities, which we call primary processing. And then it comes to our Renmark facility here for final sorting, packing and value adding.
It's a simple nut and it's been around for thousands of years, and all of a sudden in the 21st century it comes in all of these different guises. So tell us about some of them.
I think we've got well over 100 different almond products. Natural almonds, we blanch almonds, we roast almonds, most of the things in your breakfast cereal or muesli bar would be coming from here. We also make almond paste, which is a sort of a newer sort of product over the last couple of years, which is the key ingredient into almond yogurts, almond milk. Almonds are such a versatile product. As we process the almonds, we're able to reclaim the product if it doesn't meet a certain grade and then value add that in another process. So very waste efficient industry.
What about export?
The Australian industry, for instance, this year will produce around about 115,000, 120,000 metric tonne of almond kernels, and the domestic market is around 25 to 30,000 tonnes. So yeah, it's a major export crop. It's the most valuable horticultural export that Australia has.
I've heard the chocolate-coated ones are dark chocolate, of course. They're good for
They are very good.
Yeah,
I totally
Only
agree.
a rumour, of course.
Yeah. It's very hard to get a big enough jar when you start on those.
Most popular one, do you think?
Natural almonds and roasted almonds are by far the most popular.
Your favourite?
Well, I like the chocolate medley, like you. Yeah, so we got white
good.
chocolate, milk chocolate, and dark chocolate.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very hard not to stop eating those.
Yeah, very good indeed.
A new aquaculture venture has started up down here in the Riverland at Red Earth Farms, better known for their fruit and veg. They have taken on the challenge of farming Murray Cod. Ben, tell us about your style of operation.
All our fish are kept in cages. The dam itself is about 5 metres deep and the cages only go down about 2. This just allows the fish to stay up off the bottom, out of the mud, which in a general freshwater fish, that mud from the bottom is what gives them that muddy flavour, whereas our fish are kept out of that, gives them a nice clean texture and taste.
Can we have a look at the fish that you've got in these cages?
Absolutely.
Oh, hey! Look at those beautiful, healthy fish. Ben, tell me about where you get your fingerlings from.
So here at Red Earth Farms, we do everything start to finish. So we have our own broodstock. We harvest the eggs from those broodstock, take them back to the shed, hatch them, feed them, grow them. We actually have all our nursery is in tanks. So they basically grow up to around 100 grams in the tanks. Then they're moved out into the cages, into, well, smaller cages than this, they're nursery cages, and they're fed pellets, and they're grown out here until they're ready for sale.
And how long does that process take?
To get a fish to a kilo, generally, in good optimum temperatures, it can take 12 months, but generally between 15 and 18 months.
Oh, that's great. Cod, as you know, is a premium freshwater table fish.
Absolutely. Well, here in the Riverland, you can't take a cod out of the water. You can catch them, you can target them for fish feed, but you can't take them home. So it's a perfect opportunity for us to capitalise on that.
Well, I look forward to cooking it.
I look forward to tasting it.
I bet. Thank you, Ben. We'll see you after the break to cook up our Murray Cod recipe.
Now, Mickey, we've been very busy today. We've been to Almond Co and got some beautiful almonds. In fact, you haven't stopped eating almonds all day.
Why are you encouraging me?
Especially those dark chocolate ones.
The ones that you wanted to take home to the family.
I've collected some citrus, local citrus, of course. Beautiful ruby red grapefruit there, some limes and some lemons. I've mixed up a little bit of parsley, coriander and spring onion to add to a dish that you're going to make. Tell me about this fish.
The Murray Cod. Luckily, aquaculture allows us to enjoy this fish because it is protected in the wild. So, Mickey, can I have the oil?
The oil, please.
I'm going to put some oil.
You're going to put 2 types of oil.
I'm going to put almond oil.
And you don't need a lot of this almond oil, seriously.
Not aromatic, so you put that.
No, you...
It's
Very expensive.
Bit expensive,
Well,
boy.
it's not that expensive.
No.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay, we did that to get the aroma, okay?
Now these...
So a green base,
Oh,
Bit of sizzle. Mickey?
Bit of parsley there.
Yeah, I'm going to just score the fish.
Yep.
Probably about 4 either
Because
side.
that helps in the cooking, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you can tell
Yep.
when the fish is cooked because it goes pearly white and comes hot. So I'm going to put this in here. Bit of
Yep.
pepper and salt on top. Mickey?
Pepper?
Yep. If you can do the salt.
But at home, like this, you can cook it in the pan.
You can barbecue it.
But you were
You
saying,
can wrap it up in
don't take the head off because that's the whole
the
presentation.
presentation.
Yeah.
Mickey,
Yes,
can I
what
have the
was it?
wine? While I do the wine, can you
So
squeeze
early
a
in
bit?
the day.
Absolutely. Oh, it's getting dark. Can you squeeze
Yes.
some
Limes.
lime juice over the fish?
Here we go.
I'm going to put enough there and make sure I leave enough for us to have a little bit glass of this Seppelsfield's
Yes.
Vermentino.
Vermentino.
Okay, I reckon this is about 30 minutes. There we are. It's a bit of heat.
In your own words, Michael, tell us how it worked out.
About 35 minutes to cook it, Mickey. That depends on your heat source. We had the wind factor again. So there we just stressed it. Those slivered almonds, which we toasted. Add a bit of that beautiful, just a little bit of a sprinkle of almond oil.
I forgot to ask you initially, how much did that one weigh?
That's about 800, 900 grams.
Okay. And that would feed a family, wouldn't it? Easy.
That'll feed 4 people comfortably, Mickey.
Hey, Chris, tell us what you're doing up here at the Murray.
At the moment, we're doing some research monitoring Murray cod populations to see how their abundances are going and whether they're recruiting and generally the health of their populations.
You know, we all hear all the stories about Murray River cod being massive and all that. Is that true? I mean, how big do they grow?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they get huge. We reasonably regularly catch fish to over 30 kilos in weight.
That's big, isn't it?
Yesterday afternoon we got one that was 22 kilos. Today we've only caught babies, so I think the biggest fish we've got today is about 30 centimetres.
Now, you catch them for research and put them back into the system.
Correct.
But public, when they go fishing for Murray River cod, they're not allowed to take them home or whatever.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So at the moment, the Murray cod fishery in South Australia is a catch and release fishery with a closed season as well. So from August through to the end of December, it's actually closed season because the fish are spawning at that time, typically in October, November. But there is a short catch and release fishery that occurs from January through to July. So you can't take the fish home because there's still populations of Murray cod in South Australia are not anywhere near what they used to be years ago. Signs are looking good. However, they're still not really at a point where take is probably appropriate. So.
Now, tell us about your boat. It's purpose-built, obviously.
It is.
What
So
happens on board?
really what we've got is there's a generator on the vessel underneath the driver's seat. The generator gets started up and then electricity is put in the water through these anodes. The fish are stunned momentarily, enough for someone at the front to net them, put them in the live wells. Then we can process them, measure them, weigh them, tag them, etc. They recover and then they go back in the water.
Now, you were out earlier zapping some fish. What did you get?
We've got 4 species in here. We've got some juvenile Murray cod. That's probably about 18 months old.
Okay.
Would have been spawned last October, November.
So, Chris, what are their predators in the river? Did they have any or what?
Themselves?
Yeah,
So,
themselves, is
yeah,
that
so
right?
the adult fish have no qualms about eating a smaller one.
Good, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. But that
Oh.
can happen. And at this stage, they're probably a little bit vulnerable to some of the bird predators. But
Yeah.
once they get beyond about 300 millimetres, there's probably not too many other things that eat them other than big Murray cod. I'll try and find a big callop in here. So
Now, this is the one you can actually catch and take home.
Yeah, callop in South Australia.
Gee, it's a good-looking
golden
fish.
perch
Yeah.
elsewhere, or yellow belly. So these guys are really, if you want to come angling up the river, this is the fish that you're targeting. So we've got another couple of things in here. We've got this another protected species, which is freshwater catfish. You got to be a bit careful with these because they do have a couple of spines that can be a bit nasty.
Is he a baby or
No, that's a 500 mil fish, so that's a pretty big catfish. I got one more to show, which
Yep.
is an interesting fish because not that many people would know about these things.
Wow.
So this is called a bony herring, otherwise known in the lower part here in South Australia as tookery, or in the Riverland as piebury.
Native fish?
Native fish, arguably
beautiful.
the most abundant fish in the river. This is what all the cormorants and pelicans and Murray cod are eating.
Yeah.
They're kind of the engine room of of the
Poor
food
things.
web. So,
What
and
about
you,
us? Can we have a crack at them?
you
or
can,
what?
but
Yeah.
they're known as bony bream or
Bony
bony herring
bream.
for a reason. They're not. They're quite bony and they're not that flash. But everything else likes them.
Yeah. So you'd say as a sort of a bit of a wrap up, the Murray River's fish stock is pretty good.
There's a range of impacts that there have been over time, and so we're coming from quite a low level, but for some species, we're definitely starting to see some improvements.
We'll keep up the good work.
Cool, thank
Yeah,
you very much.
Thank you.
After the break, Adam cooks up mussels
So in they go.
with tomato, basil and risotto.
Adam, how you going?
Oh, wonderful, Mick.
Hey, I'm seeing all these wonderful products here. Risoni. What are we going to do with the risoni?
Well, this is a great one, Mick. One pot wonder, okay? Risoni pasta, our San Remo here. We've got to get our dish on the go.
So that means simply that you're going to put that in when you cook the rest of the mussels and tomatoes and so forth in there.
100%. So I've got 1 clove of garlic chopped there, 1 chilli also, in that goes.
Oh, look at that.
Tomatoes, don't be scared, all right? We want it to glisten, obviously the tomatoes to pop open, all that meat to come out. So you want to keep moving around, all right? Get that going. Now, wonderful mussels here.
Local
Now,
mussels.
take that beard off, all right? Remove that. So in they go. All the liquid and all.
Yep.
Lid on, okay?
For roughly.
2-3 minutes.
Okay, see you later.
Where you going? I haven't seen you for that long. Come back. Anyway, so we want them to steam open, okay? Pop them in beautiful ocean water will pop out. The flavour's in there, and that's what we want for our pasta dish.
What about the ones that don't open? That's always the big question, isn't it?
You give them to your mother-in-law to get rid of.
But she may not be at your restaurant.
I want to know. Someone you don't like, put it that way.
So you don't, do you eat them or what?
No, you don't. If it doesn't pop open, you don't eat it, all right? You have a look at that.
Look at those.
Look. See, we're starting to pop open there, Mick. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Now, time to add some wonderful fish stock. In that goes like so. Now, time to add in our risoni. Okay, so risoni takes around 8 minutes to cook. We're going to cook it for 6, okay, and then turn off the heat and allow it to sit in there for the last couple minutes. Why, you may ask, Mick? It's because I want all the flavour of that beautiful stock and our mussels to be absorbed into the pasta. Lid back on, give it a little shake. All right, little shake and bake. Get all that pasta to the bottom.
Okay. Now, Adam, how long have you had that going?
About 6 minutes though. Look at that risoni, okay? So shaped like rice, but 10 times better. Gonna add in our basil, Mick. Okay, no chopping, just tearing. Come
One
back.
pot wonder. Ah,
A little bit of this, huh? The olive oil.
You always add that little bit extra, don't you?
Yeah, occasionally through the hair.
Yeah.
Now, lid back on, let it sit for a minute or two. This is the one pot wonder. You take it like this to the table, Michael, right? Serve it, boom, open
That's
it up.
it. Look at that. Now, I'll just have a little... it's going to be hot,
You've
but...
been very polite and elegant there.
That is amazing.
You like that broth?
I do. I would have added a little bit more chilli, but that's what
Oh, so you like it hot?
Well, that's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. And Michael, I'd have to say, and have to ask people to, if they haven't been to the Riverland for a while, I mean, we're here at Waikerie, but there's places like Renmark, and there's all the way up and down the Murray River. There are fabulous towns to visit. So hop in the car, take a weekend off or midweek.
Go and get a bag of almonds.
Yeah.
Go and pick some fruit off the trees.
Yeah, go
But ask
fishing.
first though, okay?
Get some yabbies. Well, you know, just have a good time. The people are very friendly. Until next time,
See you next time.
we'll see you next time.
You were worried, weren't you?
I'm still worried.
You're still a bit worried. All right, see you in about 2 hours' time. I think I'll go for a softie.
Softy?
Yeah. I'm here with Ben Shiner from Red Earth.
Ben Shear.
But
Ben Shear.
I'll just say Ben.
You're going to walk off in opposite direction.
Okay. Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo.